We find 10 on your sides, Katie, Colette, and Katie. What have you learned today?
Tom, I have been emailing and calling a lot of people connected with this today. We're talking the Coast Guard in Portsmouth and New York. We're also talking about the company that owns the ship, as well as the Port Authority and folks here at APM terminals. Now, here's what I learned. Companies across the United States actually contract out parts of these ships to have their goods shipped over to places like APM terminals here and then shipped to their company, wherever that may be in the United States. It is the job of the Coast Guard and the Port Authority to make sure there is nothing dangerous on those ships making its way into the United States. Like the Coast Guard in New York at the scene of today's search for suspected stowaways, the Coast Guard in Portsmouth does these daily searches as well. And when stowaways are involved, the crew has one goal in mind.
The reason why they're coming in is immaterial. It's the fact that they try to intentionally bypass security protocols to prevent them from coming in. We have to find out why. And that's one of the reasons why we're out there all the time.
CGM owns the Villa d'Aquarius. The French company has a branch in Norfolk. A spokesperson tells me he does not have many details from the scene right now, but he does say CGM is cooperating with the United States investigation. Meanwhile, Joe Harris of the Virginia Port Authority tells me, quote, the ship was supposed to come here on Friday. They probably would have died from the heat in the area when they arrived, end quote. Harris says some of these containers sit here for days or even weeks before they're sent by truck or train to their final destination. He tells me there's no way for the Port Authority to know if people are in a container. He says, quote, we don't scan for people. I don't know of any port that does. We scan for radiation, end quote. Now, scanning for people and other problems is a job that belongs to the Coast Guard, along with the federal, state, and local authorities.
It's a 7-day week, 365-day-year mission, and we're constantly out there. And this is one of the successes that we're able to detect personnel on board before they enter the country.
Now, because there's no way to know yet what container these suspected stowaways are in, there's no way to tell what United States company is that container's final destination. However, I'm told it would more than likely be someone at that company that would be the first to ever open that container. And because it's so hot here and getting hotter over the next few days, there's no way to tell what type of condition those suspected stowaways would even be in. Tom?